Lawyers for R. Kelly are asking a judge to grant the singer a new trial or toss out Kelly's conviction.
Pilot, we'll talk about in a minute, recommended that only 7 people fly with Aaliyah, or a total of 7 people in the party. She happened to have 8.
If you want to know who the masterminds are behind something, all you have to see is the person who benefits the greatest. By the way, wasn't this all around the time when Aaliyah died? Who the else would have known that other than his closest ally, his best friend?
R. Kelly has been sentenced to 30 years in prison for his described abuse of several underage girls. The senators are running at large because of the crooked judicial system. A piece of shuddering news just broke on the internet that the famous R. Kelly has appealed for his charges to be dropped. Well, it looks like the big bucks have saved Kells behind once again. This woeful news has set the internet in a worried frenzy because the alleged harasser and murderer Aaliyah is about to be out and about. Buckle up, people, because we're going to explore all the skeletons hidden under Kelly's bed. So without further ado, let's get into it. Robert Sylvester Kelly, better known as R. Kelly, is an American musician, convicted felon, racketeer, and sex offender. Jack of all trades, huh? Well, Kelly has officially filed an appeal in his federal sex crimes case out of New York, and he's got a laundry list of reasons why he thinks his conviction should be reversed.
Lawyers for R. Kelly are asking a judge to grant the singer a new trial or toss out Kelly's conviction.
According to legal docs obtained by TMZ, the controversial singer says he got a raw deal throughout the lengthy trial. Kelly was found guilty in 2021 on 9 federal counts that included RICO charges as well as charges pertaining to crimes and human trafficking. R&B singer R. Kelly got sentenced to 30 years in prison, months after being convicted of trafficking and racketeering. U.S. District Judge Ann Donnelly handed down the sentence in Brooklyn, New York, after several of Kelly's victims angrily addressed him at the hearing. R. Kelly has been sentenced to 30 years in prison for his described of several girls. In addition, ABC7 Chicago reported that the defense argued many of R. Kelly's victims were groupies who willingly went along with Kelly's demands, and said prosecutors misapplied racketeering statutes to Kelly's case. Invigorated by an influential social movement determined to push centuries of male misbehavior through symbolic prosecutions of high-profile men, the government brought a RICO prosecution against the defendant that was absurdly remote from the drafter's intent. A detached and unemotional review of the evidence in this case shows that the government presented an overabundance of bad character evidence to compensate for its inefficient proofs of the specific elements of RICO and the Mann Act. But after all the struggle to put Richie, the judicial system has just slapped all his victims across the face by dropping the said charges of him. Kelly was found guilty of leading a criminal enterprise that recruited women and girls for sex. The charges also include a bribery scheme involving a public official to get a fake ID for Aaliyah so the two could get she was 15. Even the famous mythbuster of the music industry, Jaguar Wright, has called out Kelly for his inhumane acts. She believes that people in the industry knew what he did to the women and girls, but kept quiet because they wanted to make money.
R. Kelly was the first corporately sponsored pedophile in the United States.
She even alluded that she knew what happened to the Princess of Pop and what she was going through, as Jag used to watch the industry people going after the young pretty often.
But it's real. It's real. How does a girl get married and no adult in the family knew?
Well, when everyone's hands are in the cookie jar, no one wants to speak out. And one of the shining stars of the industry, Jay-Z, is actually a very close accomplice. Large Professor, the American rap producer, revealed in an interview that the original instrumental for Ether was produced by Swizz Beatz, and that Nas was ultimately censored the record before he decided to release it. From there, he recalls that some of the lyrics he took out had to do with Aaliyah's plane crash, aimed at both Jay-Z and Dame Dash. Nearly 2 decades ago, the world lost one of its most promising and influential musical artists when 22-year-old Aaliyah was killed in a plane crash almost immediately after the twin-engine Cessna 402B she was on took off from Marsh Harbor. Her death rippled throughout the entertainment industry and drew an outpouring of grief from her fans worldwide.
Plane just after taking off for Florida in perfect weather suddenly plummeted to the ground. Investigators now saying one of the engines apparently failed. along with 8 passengers, Aaliyah.
With a further in-depth investigation, many suspicious instances were noted before Aaliyah's last flight. The load on the plane exceeded its limit, and the flight was 3.5 hours late from their design schedule, almost like someone wanted to wait till nightfall to get the deed done.
The pilot, who we'll talk about in a minute, recommended that only 7 people fly with Aaliyah, or a total of 7 people in the party. She happened to have 8 in her party.
Well, Lord Jamar, an industry insider and a close acquaintance of both Jay-Z and R. Kelly, revealed that Jay had to know what had happened to Aaliyah. You see, it was common knowledge that Jay-Z was in love with Aaliyah, but she did not reciprocate his feelings. So it is quite possible that in a fit of anger and jealousy, Jay-Z partnered with R. Kelly, who was famous for his preference for young girls. But you see, Jay-Z was not alone in this master conundrum. Beyonce was also very much involved. At the time, when Aaliyah was all over the industry, the Destiny Child was stuck to the ground. Well, now we all know that the supernatural couple has been soaring since the unfortunate demise of Aaliyah. The fans believe that Bay J won't have been there if Aaliyah was alive. Remember when Aaliyah was soaring the charts and Jay-Z's girl and Beyonce, Destiny's Child, wasn't? Then Aaliyah was killed. Beyonce went solo and soared because Beyonce joined Illuminati because Me Too. While others believe that Jay went psychopath crazy and jealous on Aaliyah just because she didn't want him. Jay-Z had Aaliyah killed because she didn't want him. Dame Dash tried to stop it from happening by trying to convince Aaliyah to wait for him before she took the flight, but she didn't want to wait. He's always said he felt he could have saved her. Well, these specific narratives are also backed up by Jag. She believes that Damon and Jag fell apart because Jay couldn't handle seeing Aaliyah with him, and at the same time Beyonce came into view. As Bey was all over Jay and Aaliyah wasn't, allegedly he just made Aaliyah the scapegoat for his chick's career. In addition to all these speculations, the claim that the Illuminati runs the entertainment business is hardly new. It should therefore come as no surprise that one popular theory around Aaliyah's death is that she was killed as a blood sacrifice, with many citing Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Dash as their main offending parties. The two singers shared very similar roots, hailing from an R&B background with a budding acting career on the side. For many, this proved the two singers were on the same path, and apparently only one of them would be allowed to stay on it. The Illuminati, according to this theory, selected Beyonce to carry on the legacy because Aaliyah was trying to get out of it. Now Jag has alluded to the fact that nothing can be proved because the power is very centric in the entertainment industry. Jay-Z and Beyonce top the charts now, so sovereignty lies with them. Even though Jag did not make any bold accusations, she did allude to a key clue to identify the perpetrator.
If you want to know who the masterminds are behind something, all you have to see is the person who benefits the greatest.
Jaguar was also able to hold details before Aaliyah was in an accident. Jag explained that someone called Aaliyah claiming that Dame, Aaliyah's boyfriend, had gotten into a terrible accident and was on his deathbed. We all know that is a false statement, because Dame is hale and hearty to this day, while Aaliyah lies 6 feet under the ground.
And tell her she needed to rush to the hospital in Miami because Dame was on his deathbed.
After Jag investigated the incident herself, she found out that Dame was not even in Miami when Aaliyah got the call. If you ask us, that's some crazy coincidence.
Nowhere near Miami, and he ain't had no assistant call Aaliyah. Who the else would have known that other than his closest ally, his best friend?
Now coming back to R. Kelly, had an intimate relationship with Aaliyah since she was 13 or 14. The information was revealed by a former backup performer for R. Kelly, testified that she saw Mr. Kelly engaged in a with the R&B singer Aaliyah around 1993, when Aaliyah was only 13 or 14 years old. Well, like the president himself, his family is also repeatedly denying all the allegations against him. Gregory Preston, R. Kelly's uncle, told reporters he believes Kelly will be set free on appeal. Preston told reporters after the sentencing, "I'm just praying that everything will go well and that he will go free, because we all know that he's innocent." Well, including R. Kelly's negligible defense, that unfortunately worked, mostly due to alleged big bucks. And now that Aaliyah's case is trending all over social media, we can assume that the possible current hype just might prove to be fruitful and Aaliyah's case be reopened. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but one can always dream. That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.